When most people hear the word Stoic, they think of someone who doesn't show emotion. Cold, detached, the person who never cracks, never cries, never lets anything in. That is not Stoicism. That is a misreading so far from the original that the actual Stoics would barely recognise it. Real Stoicism is one of the warmest, most human, most practical philosophies ever written. And once you understand what it's actually about, it becomes less like philosophy and more like a lifeline. Stoicism was founded around 300 years BC by a philosopher named Zeno of Citium in Athens. He used to teach in a public space called the Stoa Poikile. Again, can't pronounce any of these words right. It just meant the painted porch. His students became known as Stoics because they studied there. The philosophy flourished for centuries, eventually reaching its peak in Rome, where it was adopted by people at almost every level of society. From the slave Epictetus, who wrote some of the most profound reflections on human freedom ever composed, to the emperor Marcus Aurelius, who applied Stoic principles while ruling the most powerful empire in the world. Marcus Aurelius's personal journal, which was never intended for publication, is now known as Meditations. It's one of the most widely read books in the world, nearly 2,000 years after it was written. Because the problems he was wrestling with are the same problems we wrestle with today. How do I stay grounded when the world is chaotic? How do I act well when I don't control the outcome? How do I remain myself when everything around me is uncertain? At the heart of Stoicism is one idea. It sounds simple, it is actually profound. The Stoics divided the world into two categories: things that are up to us and things that are not up to us. Things up to us are our thoughts, our responses, our values, our choices, our effort, our character. Things that are not up to us are other people's behaviour, outcomes, reputation, wealth, health, the weather. Epictetus opens his Enchiridion, again, definitely not pronounced like that, which was his handbook, with this exact distinction. He writes that happiness and freedom begin the moment you understand that some things are within your control and some things are not. And here is the Stoic discipline. Pour your energy into the first category. Release your grip on the second. You cannot control what happens. You can always control how you respond to what happens. And that, the Stoics argued, is everything. This is not passivity. This is not giving up. This is the most powerful reframe in the history of philosophy. Because once you stop measuring your well-being by things you cannot control, nothing can truly defeat you. Here's how Stoicism connects directly to everything we've been building in this series. The Stoics believed that the highest human good was living in accordance with your nature, specifically in accordance with your rational, excellent, virtuous nature, your daimon. They called this living according to logos, the rational principle within you that connects you to something larger. But in practical terms, it's the same idea. Know who you are at your best and organise your life around becoming that person. Stoicism gives you the philosophical armour to pursue eudaimonia and arete even when the world pushes back, when you lose something, when something doesn't go to plan, when other people behave badly. The Stoic says, none of that touches my purpose, none of that touches who I am becoming. So let me clear up a few things people get wrong about Stoicism. Stoicism does not mean suppressing emotion. The Stoics felt deeply. Marcus Aurelius grieved. Seneca loved. What they practiced was not the absence of emotion, but freedom from being enslaved by emotion. There is a profound difference. Stoicism is not pessimism. It's often misread that way because Stoics prepare fully for difficulty, not because they expect the worst, rather because preparation creates resilience, and resilience creates freedom. And Stoicism is not indifference to other people. The Stoics were deeply committed to community, to service, to virtue in relationship. Marcus Aurelius governed an empire with this philosophy. It made him more engaged, not less. Stoicism at its core is about this. You are not at the mercy of the world. you are the author of your response to it. And in that authorship, that deliberate, daily choice to respond from your higher self, lies a freedom that nothing external can remove. We now have all the philosophical ingredients: the daimon, the eudaimonia, arete, euthymia, stoicism. In part 7, we're going to bring them all together around the central idea of this series, the gap, and talk about what it actually looks like to close it. Better for the individual, good for the hive. I'll see you in the next one.